Are you tired of feeling inadequate in the arm department and you're looking for a way to build up those bone blistering biceps that you're seeing in the magazines that your spouse is hiding under their side of the mattress? Well, you might have come to the right place because in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Syedee Preacher Curl Bench. So if that sounds interesting to you, you're not going to want to go anywhere. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome, glad to have you. Consider subscribing if you like home gym related content because that's pretty much all I make here. And for even more home gym related content, be sure to check me out over on Instagram as well as on my website, mattpendergraft.com, where I offer up some written reviews, some exclusive discount codes, and it's where I house my affiliate links if you're into supporting this kind of content. So with all that out of the way, let's dive into this product. As stated, this is a Syedee branded Preacher Curl Bench, and if that name sounds familiar to you, it might be because I reviewed a leg press from this company a few months back, and I wasn't particularly nice to that product in the video. I was honest, I think I was more than fair, especially given the price point, but I did have some issues with the rollers, and I wasn't hesitant to point that out in the video and really focus in on them. And because of that, I didn't think I'd ever hear from Syedee again. I mean, why would I? But lo and behold, they sent me an email, told me they had a new Preacher Curl product, asked if I was interested in reviewing it. I was like, heck yeah, go ahead and send it my way. I'll make it happen. In my mind, I'm thinking y'all are either a glutton for punishment or you've got a product that's worth taking a look at and you're just trying to sway my opinion on you as a company and the products you're offering. If that's the case, I definitely appreciate that and I respect it. So anyways, they sent it to me free of charge and here we are. Let's dive into this puppy. Now, to be completely honest with you, I generally don't even recommend putting Preacher Curl benches in a home gym for several reasons. Mainly, they take up valuable floor space and they're a one-trick pony, meaning they only work out one tiny little muscle group in your arm, and that's it. To me, that doesn't make sense. Unless you have the mentality of like it's arm day every day or you're a professional bodybuilder, which is totally fine. I personally don't see the value in it, especially given the fact that there are alternatives that in my mind are just as good, such as using leg rollers on a rack upright. You can slide them through whatever height hole you want, put your arm on it, grab you a dumbbell, boom, you are preacher curling. You can use the backrest of an adjustable bench. You can set it at whatever angle you want, grab you a dumbbell, throw your arm on it, boom, you are preacher curling. Or you can use an AbMat Preacher Pad, which basically mimics this setup, but it's in a much smaller compact foam form. Throw it in your lap, grab you some dumbbells or a barbell, boom, you are preacher curling. The cool thing about that, like I said, it is real small. It's lightweight, it's compact. When you're not using it, you can throw it wherever the piss you want. It takes up no space at all. I'm telling you this to say that there are alternatives. You're not necessarily restricted to this is the only way you do preacher curls is you buy a dedicated Preacher Curl bench. You can use those other ones, which I tend to prefer over buying something like this, which I realize sounds counterintuitive, seeing as though you are watching a review video on this product, but I want to be completely transparent and let you know where my head's at. I realize I'm talking really fast too. I don't know what's wrong with me. To each their own, do whatever you want to do. I don't even care. Circling back to this particular Preacher Curl bench, it does maintain a fairly modest size, standing at about 34 inches and occupying a space of roughly 32 by 41 inches. It's relatively compact and due to its tri-legged design can be tucked away into a corner without consuming too much space. So when you purchase this Preacher Curl bench, it does ship in a single box, which means there's going to be some assembly required, but fear not, it was relatively easy and straightforward in my opinion. Of course, I have zero footage of me actually putting mine together, so you'll never know if I was throwing wrenches or whatever. You're just gonna have to take me at my word. The instructions were clear and easy to follow. All the parts came labeled and individually wrapped, including the hardware itself came in little baggies, which I thought was pretty cool. So you knew exactly which bag to grab and the parts, and everything just lined up and it went together beautifully in my opinion. Syedee does have a video on YouTube. It might even be on their website. It shows the assembly process. So if you need further instructions, just check that out. But all in all, I thought it was pretty easy and straightforward. Now let's move on to some of the standout features that might make this bench a more attractive offering compared to others on the market, as well as a maybe not so attractive offering. So let's go. So starting with the padding, it is relatively thick and on the firmer side-ish, but it's in no way what I would consider commercial padding, and as it should not be considering the price point. I will say the padding is also wrapped in a vinyl that is on the loose side. It's not a deal breaker by any means. Right now it's perfectly fine, but over time, as the padding itself starts compressing with use, I can see this vinyl getting looser and looser and causing some problems. So something to think about. Did I say problems? Problems. Now the seat pad of this bench is adjustable between 7 different height settings, which in theory would make this thing accommodate individuals of all different sizes. However, I am just under 6 feet, and even at the lowest setting, I still feel really crammed. I feel like this thing is just really small. My knees are hitting the bottom side of this armrest pad. I don't know if all that stuff is normal. Maybe my expectations are skewed because it's just been so long since I've been to a commercial gym and felt what an actual preacher curl feels like. I don't know. Definitely check out the B-roll of me using this thing. Let me know what you think. I will say, if you're taller than me, you'd be hard pressed to use this thing comfortably. So it's an observation I made. I wanted to point it out there and point it out to you, throw it out there. So yeah, take it for what it is. In addition to the adjustable seat, another size accommodation that Syedee has integrated into the design of this bench is the inclusion of 2 sets of barbell holders, each set at different heights. Now this should be pretty self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go ahead and explain it to you anyways. Generally, shorter individuals will gravitate towards using the top set of hooks, whereas taller individuals will utilize the lower bottom set of hooks. Now in theory, this concept sounds great, but in reality, I personally find that the top set of hooks tend to be in my way when I'm trying to perform curls. Unless I'm meticulously watching every rep that I'm performing, I have a tendency to bang my barbell on the underside of the top set of hooks dang near every time. I don't know if it's just the way I'm built, my arms are long and they fall into this weird disaster of an area. I have no clue, but it's definitely a problem for me. Not only does it throw off the exercise entirely when you're trying to perform curls, it's metal on metal contact because there's no plastic on the underside of these hooks, unlike the top where there is plastic to protect your barbell. Nobody likes metal on metal contact. Not me, not you, nobody. So I know I'm probably wasting my breath here, but a better design in my opinion would be to nix these double bar holders they've got going on and drop it down to a single adjustable holder, basically like a pair of J-cups. If they pop a bunch of holes in here, you have your J-cups, you can set them wherever you want. There's not gonna be anything above or below that's gonna interfere with the rep, and you're good to go. Plus it gives you that option to experiment with different kind of J-cups if you want to. But who am I kidding? I don't know what I'm talking about. Now I feel like I'm beating this thing up, which I realize might not be entirely fair, especially given its $200 price tag. But like I said, in general, I feel like most people can do without having one of these benches in their gym, which is probably why my expectations are set a little bit higher when it comes to these one-trick pony items. Honestly, if I were reviewing a seated calf raise machine, I'd be equally as harsh. While it's certainly not perfect, overall it's a stout little bench that performs its duties and looks pretty good while doing so. I like that Syedee offers this bench in 2 different colorways so you can pick whichever one best suits your gym aesthetics, and the fact that it takes up a relatively small footprint. But of course, with that small footprint comes a bench that to me feels on the smaller end of the spectrum. It is what it is. I suppose you can't have one without the other. At the end of the day, you're just gonna have to take a long, hard look at yourself in front of a mirror and decide, is this bench right for you, your body, and your gym? I can't make that decision for you. And with that, I'm gonna leave you alone. So I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you decide you want to purchase one of these benches for yourself, I will leave a link to it in the description. As always, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those for me and I'll get back to you. But other than that, again, appreciate you watching. Until next time, I'm leaving so many fingerprints on this. Yeah.